Why do people move from one year to another and then they celebrate all the stuff and get geared up for the new year and nothing really changes? This question is an old question, and so you might just feel, oh, please, this is an old question. But the reason you need to pay attention to it is because the failure to pay attention to it means that you probably are not going to learn from what happened before and what you could do differently. That's why today in this video, I want to share with you 15 bitter truths that I think that would help you prepare you for 2025. You may not like them. You may not like what I'm going to say, but many of them that come from my personal experience and the experiences of the people around me that I have worked with. So here we go. Are you ready? Truth number one. Take down if you like, share with other people if you think it's going to make sense to them. So truth number one, without taking much of your time, is invest in yourself and relocate for growth. Sometimes your growth comes from you physically leaving where you are currently and moving to somewhere else. That's when growth is going to happen. You must be willing to geographically move from one point to another and surround yourself with people that are better than you are and are more skilled. I had to leave Port Harcourt. I got a call from a friend and I had to leave Port Harcourt to Calabar. An opportunity came up. I had to make the move from that point because I eventually returned to Port Harcourt. But I knew that it was hard at a point in time. I couldn't see a breakthrough. It's like you're in a place and school done and all that stuff, and you feel like, man, it's like I'm stuck. And then I had to move to Lagos with very little resources. I'm not sure I had up to 2,500 naira at the point in time when I moved to Lagos. Then I got to Lagos. It was really fast paced. I called my father after 10 days and said I was tired. I wanted to go home. And my father said, well, listen, if the people in Lagos are still there and nothing has happened to them, they're still surviving, find out what they do to survive and stay there. You see, proximity to excellence accelerates learning and opportunities. The opportunities that came my way when I moved to Lagos, learning curve, superb. That laid the foundation for my growth. So the point here is, in this 2025, sometimes you need to physically leave where you are to somewhere else for you to experience the desired growth. So begin to think about it. Now, truth number two is accelerate progress through focus. You need to learn to condense timeless. You need to learn to condense timelines by increasing your output efficiency. For example, work that would probably take some people weeks, you can actually find a way to achieve that same amount of work for days by focusing on completion rather than pacing. Don't think about, I want to get this done real fast. Think about cutting everything out, focusing on doing that one thing. You see, deciding means if you check the root word, the root meaning, where the word decision or decide came from, it means you have to prune or cut off every other thing and narrow and focus on this one thing. That's when you get certain things, you get things accomplished. Avoid the distractions that come with social media, friends calling you. Put your phone on do not disturb mode. Become a beast. Just lock yourself out and say, from this time to this time, I'm going to focus on getting this done. If you do it consistently, research has shown that you get more done over time. Now, I don't want to get academic. This is a fact. Take it or leave it. Truth number three, reinvest earnings into growth. You need to learn to continuously reinvest your financial gains when you make money into learning, into skills development, and to grow your capacity. Well, many people back home, especially my friends, my brothers and sisters in Nigeria and in Africa, we want to show that we've made some money. Maybe a deal just went through, you're probably in any business, in network marketing, maybe in cryptocurrency and whatever, and you make some money. We want to show by the house we live in, we want to show by the cars we drive. Honestly, Nobody's competing with you. In truth, nobody's competing with you. The only person that is competing with you is you. So why would you invest in your hair? I'm just using this metaphorically. Why would you invest in your hair, spend hundreds of thousands to buy hair to put on a head that is empty? I mean, inside your head is empty. I mean, so this is, I'm not talking referring to women. It's just a metaphor to get you to understand what I mean by saying, why would you invest so much to buy clothes, to drive a car, and the person that is inside that is driving is really empty? So why are you not investing in yourself? I'm not saying the good things of life are bad, but I'm just emphasizing the point that you need to invest in the inside person before you think unnecessarily, overly about the outward person. Truth number 4 you may not like is bet on time, money, and location. I have said it. Listen, when you move from one place geographically to another, you lose a lot. You lose your friends. Some people that have been your friends for years, sometimes your childhood friends, you would lose them. Be willing to risk some of those relationships. The comfort that comes from that place that you've always known. My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my friends, everybody I have ever known, they're in this community. So what? So what? This has kept some people trapped for a very long time. Be willing to move. And as you're moving, understand, I'm warning you today, you will have to risk some relationships so that you get something better. But when you lose these relationships, the point is you're going to build another set of relationships where you're going. That'll probably skyrocket your growth. Now, I'll give you one example. When I got to Lagos, the first place that I lived was on the island. If you've ever been to Lagos, if you ever live in Lagos, it's really this thing, this mental, I call it this stupid mental thing about, oh, I live on the island. So island guys are the main guys, are the new guys, are the posh guys and all of that, not on the mainland. The mainland guys are going to say, hey, no, that's not true, and back and forth. And it doesn't really make sense to me. Absolutely doesn't. But then I got caught in that space where I felt, the first place I ever lived when I got to Lagos was in VGC. So my mindset was, it has to be on an island and all of that. So I got a job that promised to pay 3.5 times. 3.5 times. That is 350% higher than what I was earning when I was on the island. I was on the island at the point in time. And I was going to say no. I called my wife, and my wife said, your village people, they chase you or what? If you're in Nigeria, you understand what that means. Like, are you nuts? Are you stupid? What's the problem? Is anybody hypnotizing you, influencing you? Are you being controlled? Are you being manipulated? Say whatever. That's what it means. But in other words, she was simply slapping sense into me to say, hey, get up. Eventually. But one of the things, looking back, I think one of the things I felt, I can't leave the island and move to the mainland. I felt like, no, I cannot. But eventually I moved to the mainland and I loved it. I lived there on the mainland until I left Nigeria. So the point is, on the island at the point in time, I'd made friends. All of us thinking like islanders, we're going to do this, we're going to do that and do that, and all that together, building families. But moving to the mainland, did it pay me? Yes, of course, absolutely. I made new friends and I established another business. I established businesses. And I lived, it helped me to build the life I'd always wanted to, which was because of the way Lagos was at the point in time. I said, everything around me, if I would love my job, my children's schools, whatever we're doing, to be like about 10 miles radius, if you like, or 10 miles radius, 10 minutes away from my house. And I was able to achieve that. So that removed the stress of traveling, the length and breadth of Lagos to get things done. But that's for that. Number 5, effort multiplier. What am I trying to say? Outwork your competition by an order of magnitude. While most people underestimate what's possible, it's important to understand that when you are consistent and focused in putting out your effort, this will lead to exceptional results. I guarantee you, a person who consistently learns, works, applies, makes mistakes, gets feedback, and goes back to apply the feedback will beat a gifted person that is not putting work into developing himself any day, anytime. You might be gifted, but don't worry, just stay there. Oh, I'm gifted. Someone who is not as gifted as you, but keeps working, keeps learning, keeps growing, will overtake you at some point. And so if you're that person, I'm saying that you must learn to consistently just keep putting the effort, keep putting the effort. And sometimes it happens to all of us, depending on your level in life. Even till today, it happens to me, especially when I'm breaking into a new space. You feel like nothing is working and my effort is not panning out. Of course it is. There's going to be a multiplier effect at some point. Number 6, drag the future to the present. What does that mean? You need to learn to acquire skills as fast as possible. We're living in a world where we've got AI, we've got information has been democratized, the internet is there. I was raised in a generation where if you go to secondary, if you attend secondary school and then you do not get to the university, it's like, oh, what are you doing? You've got to go to the university. The world today is different. You don't have to necessarily, I'm not running down traditional schools, but I'm saying you've got information everywhere on YouTube and Google, go to Chat, GPT, name it, AI here and there. You've got groups where you can learn to even compete with people who go into the four walls of the university. So you've got all of that. The question you need to ask yourself is, do I want to make mistakes or do I want to learn, fast track my personal development and professional development and just push up? It would take time, but listen, you can compress this by being a lot more focused. And number 7, embrace long-term sacrifices so that you can create fast success. Embrace long-term sacrifices so that you can create fast success. You see, success can come quickly once you've paid the price for making no money for over a period of time. Pay that price for a significant period of time and begin, and in the process of paying, not making money, one thing that you're doing is that you are building skills. If you apply your time right, that's what I mean, not just wasting time. One experience I have, I'm going to share with you, was at some point, we opened a business, we started a business, and we floated a school, Delonville Academy. Now, at the point when we started the school, we really didn't have the money to start the school. What I mean we didn't have the money, we did not have 10,000 naira to start the school. I went there, I saw the property. My wife had just put to bed to my first son. And at the point in time, it was like 1 week after, and I got back home. Funny enough, as I was leaving, I didn't like the building, the whole thing. And as I was leaving, I just took a photograph. So when I got home, we had visitors at home, and I just showed the picture to my wife, and I said, I don't think it's a building we can use. By the way, I don't even have the money to renovate and all of that. She just looked at it and I said, wait a minute. Immediately, she kept the baby with the person who was taking care of the baby and said, I'll be back in a minute. We got in the car and she said, let's go back. So we got back, we called the agent, we went into the place, it was full of all sorts of rubbish, debris here and there. And she looked at it. She immediately saw what it was going to look like that I didn't see. And she said, we can use this place. And that's where the journey started. At the time we got there were other schools that were established with big brands and all of that. And we said we were going to beat all of them. We did not know anything, absolutely nothing. I was a consultant and also working for, on the side, also working for a company. I was trying to grow my own business on the side, and then working with a company at the point in time as an HR, heading the HR team at the point in time. All I knew, my life was all about HR and nothing about running a school. But we learned from scratch, attended trainings, did some stuff, made mistakes, customer service, parents getting upset, managing teachers, teachers leaving without you, without any warning, and you've got to fill in the class, the space, creating curriculums. If you've ever run a school, you know what I'm talking about. All the headache you learn while you are on the job. You're paying your rent, you're paying teachers, you have to pay salaries, and you've got to get school fees from parents. Name it. What am I trying to say? For about 2-3 years or so, the school didn't make money. We were just borrowing and taking loans and doing all what we needed to do to keep the business afloat. But it was a process of learning. And we ran that school successfully and even sold it at the end of the day. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes you don't make any money, but are you learning? You must be prepared to know when you tell yourself, okay, you know what, I'm not going to make money. Even if I'm running my business, I'm not going to make money for 2-3 years, maybe, but it's a period where I'm going to learn. Always have the mindset. That's number 8. Have the mindset of a student. Approach every learning opportunity with the goal of becoming the best example of success. I must tell you, I have had experiences where I've paid money to go into coaching programs, mentorship programs, and I just stop and ask myself, I don't think this money was worth it. But then in between, I just say, but I'm going to make the best use of this opportunity. So you might have good mentors, bad mentors, good coaches, not so good coaches, name it. Wherever you find yourself, it's their fault. It's the wrong way to approach it. It's my fault. Growth starts from this point. Oh, you know what? I'm here now. I'm going to just make the best use of it. I'm going to be the best student out of this very, very bad program. That's the mindset. Always have that mindset of a student in 2025, and that you might not like it. What I'm saying, you might not like to hear it. It's a fact. It is the truth. It's worked for me. It's worked for so many people I've worked with. Put that mindset on. Many of my friends who are entrepreneurs, we always do have that mindset. Oh, but what did happen? About why this table I say, get as if you're man. Let's make the best use of it. I mean, it just changes the way, it changes the energy in the room. You must have people like that around you. Now, number 9, iterate improvement. Success isn't just about doing something once, it's about doing it again and again, but also aiming to get better. As you do it again and again, you become better. How do you do that? Reflect on your past attempts, reflect on the mistakes that you've made, reflect on the feedback that you've gotten, and then try to implement those things. Iterate improvement. Do not do things once and say, no, it's not working. Do it again and again and see and ask yourself, am I really improving or not? And then number 10, value skill acquisition. If you see, I have been weaving skill acquisition and learning all over this conversation because we live in a world where people just want things done now, as in they're hot, just do it and move on. I can't remember who said this, but they say success loves speed. I've heard Eric Worre say that a lot more, so many times. Success loves speed, but trust me, wealth loves time. Loves time. You need to give it time. And so skills acquisition within this process is really important. Learn the skill of learning. Some people want to learn, but they do not know how to learn. So all you need to do is learn the skill of learning. Focus on mastering a skill. And when you master a skill, it puts you in a position for exponential growth. I was talking to one of my friends, Tope Ahomashi. Now, she runs a consulting firm for those who want to grow your YouTube channel. Tope is really good at what she does. We're having this conversation, and Tope said to me, Tope is not where I'm going to tell this story, but I hope she's fine. So Tope told me this story. She says, Stallone, I run my business now. I've got people I pay. I run my agency, but I will never forget the experiences, the learnings, the lessons I got from network marketing. Yes, I may not have made so much money from network marketing, but boy, I learned. And I 100% agree with Tope. Oh, Network marketing is one of the biggest things in Nigeria as we speak because there are no jobs. And Nigerians are really hardworking people. And so they are always looking for a way that they can put food on the table, they can build their businesses. And many people have succeeded in that space of network marketing. But a lot more do struggle. But the thing is, sometimes we tend to have the get rich quick scheme mindset because the economy is biting. People just want something to happen. And I think that that's why the story of getting rich quick really resonates in African countries where people, because things are not there and everybody's trying to get things done by themselves. And I say this from a point of humility. But many people don't get it that way. However, if you look back and you truly put yourself into the process, I'm talking about network marketing, you find that you gather skills over time that you can use in other businesses that you do. So Tokwe said, we're just having this conversation, and Tokwe said, I'll never forget my experience with network marketing and the things that I learned being in that space. So let me bring it back to what I'm talking about and just say, everywhere you find yourself, there are skills you can pick. Find out the skills that you need, drill into them, focus on them, and become a master of that. And over time, you'll be in a position to grow exponentially. And number 11, measure work by output, not by hours. It's employees that say, I've been here. I mean, I've showed up. I'm here. I don't show, as I could say it in Nigeria. I don't show, so I don't come. So I don't know whether you make money or not. You've got to pay me. But for entrepreneurs, it's about productivity. So I would recommend that you have that shift, that mind shift, to go from looking at time to looking at what am I producing. Even if you're being employed by someone, it helps you because see your employment as if your employer is paying you, is paying your fee, your school fee to learn. Because you learn what the business is about. It's like somebody's paying you to learn. The moment there's this shift in mind that's against the I'm here now, so just pay me. I need to put food on my table. Two different mindsets. Two different mindsets that one would serve you, the other will not. So I'm saying have a mindset of always learning and mastering skills. And even if you're an employee, do not just stay there. Measure work by output as against hours. Now, the next thing I think you need to also pay attention to, that is truth number 12, I think, is fail often in a narrow field. Expertise comes from doing more repetitions and experiencing more failures in a specific area than anyone. Do not be afraid to fail. If you keep doing one thing over and over and you keep failing, you get better at that. You cannot argue this one. But when we do it and then we run away or it doesn't work, it's no learning. Learning comes from application. And when you apply, when you do something for the first time, you most likely, 99% of the times, you probably won't get it right. And so, but you understand what I mean. But doing it again and again puts you in a position to become better at that. So fail often in a narrow field. Don't try to do this, do that, hold this, hold this. Hey, get all that stuff. I want to do this. Multiple streams of income. Oh, please just stop. Stop. Multiple streams of income and none of them is working. Even you yourself, you're not working. Let's stop this nonsense. Focus on one thing. Get very good at that. In 2025, that's what I'm advising, that's what I'm recommending that you do. And I hope that gets to you. I'm trying to get to your heart, and I hope that gets to you. And you see that these are things that ways we need to change that would help us to become better at what we do. Then number 13, truth number 13, you may not also like it, is smart iteration beats blind spots. When you learn something, find out what works. Don't just jump into things and keep doing repeatedly, blindly. Look at what the data says. Learn to use data. Look at what the statistics say. Look at what the data says, to help you to grow. And learn from feedback and refine the process after each attempt, ensuring that progress comes out of the process. Now, it's like in my organization, we run a program called Instant Stage. That is, we take people who are not public speakers, who are scared to death to communicate, and we cut off all the textbook jargons and all the YouTube drag and everything. We just put you on stage, boom, and we ask you to deliver. Of course, we prep you and all of them, then we ask you to deliver. So we just had one session for about 6 weeks, and we had 10 participants, and it was really amazing. But here's the thing: when we listen to the participants, they keep coming back and they say the big thing for them is the fact that the feedback that's given to them instantly is on point, because you do it, you deliver a speech, and feedback is given to you by our coaches and our faculty of coaches, and you are asked to do it again. And we've got a process. But what I'm trying to say at the end of the day hearing is that I believe that from the data we've gotten from our participants or those who've graduated out of the program is that they value the feedback given to them and the environment that is created such that they are not judged. That feedback is given to them, they're being evaluated, and then they do again, they go back, they give the speech again, and then they just keep improving depending on what area of public speaking they'd love to progress, they'd love to improve upon. So iteration, going back to do it again in a measured form, puts you in a position for exponential growth. The number 14, truth number 14, education is buying time. One of my friends, Sonki, said, why spend 2 years to learn by yourself what somebody can teach you in a few months? I give you a background of this story. Now, I needed to learn something from Sonki, and I felt he was not forthcoming. So he was my friend, longtime friend. So I called him up and I said, guy, I'm not feeling you. It's like, man, this thing I'm asking you something that you can just tell me now. What's your problem? And I thought we had a relationship, long-term relationship. Why are you? It's like when you have a friend and you feel like, oh, but they ask you something, you hold back. What's just give me the information. I think I was ignorant because I felt that we've got a relationship, but Sonki had paid thousands of pounds to learn what I was asking him to teach me. So after that conversation, it was when it's like when you're having a heart-to-heart conversation with a friend and you feel, I want to tell you the way I feel. And in the course of the conversation, after saying your bit and your friend is talking, you're also listening and asking yourself, what am I learning in this process? Because this conversation wasn't about me just dumping it on Sonki and walking away. And one thing I learned from it is that you must shift your mind, even when you're dealing with a friend, from receiving things for free to being willing to give something in exchange. The moment you have that mindset of exchanging something for something, you become so powerful mentally, and you keep building your mental strength. What's the point I'm trying to say? Coaching, if you have to pay for coaching, if you have to pay for mentorship, if you have to pay for information, pay for it. In 2025, don't go around looking for free information. If you have to pay to learn something, to shrink time, do it. If you've got to buy a book, buy it. Don't go around looking for free information. I think that's 14. So the last one, 15, is focus before freedom. There's this, permit me, it is this senseless, nonsensical thing that we say, that we used to say. I used to say that too. I used to preach it ignorantly. Oh, it's about passive income, passive income, passive income. Everywhere you go, in Nigeria, Africa, most places. But now I'm focused on my friends, my brothers and sisters back home in Nigeria. We so build passive income, passive income, passive income. This is the truth. Before passive income, you've got to build active income. You've got to build active income to a point where you have enough to now invest and rest, for figuratively, for passive income to come in. Some people will come, oh, this opportunity, you make money while you're sleeping. There's no way you make money while you're sleeping without first of all learning how to make money when you are awake. If you don't know how to make money while you are awake, you can never make money while you're sleeping. Never. So don't let anybody come to give you those stupid gimmicks, those nonsensical expressions and flashy opportunities and ask you to put your money in that because you don't want to do anything. You want to feel like, I just want to chill and rest. You know, I want to just chill like a big boy. You've got to learn to crawl, then to walk, and then to run. You've got to learn to grow active income first before you begin to think of passive income. So focus before freedom. Focus before freedom. Call it FBF if you like. Focus before freedom. So I hope that these 15 truths that I have shared with you, they resonate with you. You may not like all of them. You may not agree with all of them. Anyone you agree, my message is take it and better yourself. Now, if you feel this makes sense to you and you feel someone else can benefit from it, can I ask you, do I have your permission to ask you to please share this video with someone else? It's a long video, yeah. You never can tell who it's going to help. And please, can I also ask you to subscribe to this channel and also hit the notification bell so that when we drop more content, you are going to benefit from it. We have content across different things, especially around communication, effective communication, business communication, sales communication, leadership. Just go to the channel and see if something works out for you. And also check beneath this, check the description. You would find resources that I've put there to benefit you in this year 2025. My name is Stallone-Obaraemi Samuel, except if you're meeting me for the first time. And my sincere desire for you, my friend, is that you go on succeeding by becoming a better version of yourself. Bye for now.